Another week, another main event with the Brons and the Usos. Around and around and around we go. At least LA Knight was not in the main event tonight. LA Knight actually won a match on this show. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? All it took was him not being in the main event. LA Knight was just thrown into the middle of the show in a random match against Kofi Kingston. But at least he won. But we did get Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed against the Usos. Tonight it was a Tornado tag team match in the main event. And if you watch SummerSlam, you know that Jay and Roman got a win over the Brons. And then at WrestlePalooza, the Brons got their win back. And so they coughed it right back up tonight because the babyfaces were successful. And why were they successful? They were successful because Roman Reigns is back. Because Street Fighter filming is over. Actually ended a few days ago. So they didn't waste any time. The very first Raw after filming is over. And they bring back Roman Reigns, who comes out with a chair, lays waste to Bronson Reed, lays waste to Bron Breakker, actually after the match. But Bron Breakker takes the loss. And then Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, they share a moment at the end of all this. Roman giving him basically like a pep talk. And they had this very interesting camera angle of Jimmy Uso standing in the background against the ropes just watching. Looking on, not very approvingly, looking on very skeptically. Not exactly happy maybe with the way that Roman has been influencing his brother. And so they're trying to add a new layer here to this bloodline story. I don't know where this is going. But if they want to play out a little bit of drama here amongst the Usos and Roman, not that we haven't seen this before, but it would be a welcome change because what they're doing right now isn't very interesting, but this could be, depending on where they take it. I don't want to say someone's going to go heel. I'm just wondering exactly where this could potentially go if Jimmy doesn't like what's going on between Roman and Jay. Or who else maybe they bring into this story. We'll find out. But it looks like Roman is probably going to be getting in the ring with Bron Breakker at Crown Jewel. Since we already got Roman and Bronson Reed, it looks like that's on the menu for Crown Jewel in Perth, which is a very interesting match. That's a much bigger match. And it looks like we're probably on our way towards that, unless they do, again, some kind of tag situation. I just can't imagine that. The way that Roman was really going after Breakker there at the end of the show with that chair would seem to indicate that that is the direction they're going in. Roman Reigns against Bron Breakker, much more interesting than doing something that also involves the Usos. Rhea Ripley and Iyo Sky and the Kabuki Warriors. That's the other big story that's been playing out now for quite some time here on Raw. Many months this story has been playing out. That's another match that is official. We do know that at Crown Jewel it will be Rhea Ripley, it will be Iyo Sky as tag team partners taking on Asuka and Kairi Sane after Iyo got misted in the face just like Rhea did last week. She too got turned into a Smurf. Here on this show, this poor woman goes 2 hours hanging out in the backstage area and nobody thinks to help try to wash this stuff off with water. Woman is sitting around, her eyes are burning. At some point, I think it was like 2 hours later, somebody finally said, Rhea said, let me go get you some water. Because apparently nobody else offered. And that's all it took for Iyo to go, fuck this, Rhea, you and me, against the Kabuki Warriors at Crown Jewel. We also know that another big match on that show is going to pit AJ Styles against John Cena. We have not seen these two men in the ring together one-on-one since 2018 on an episode of SmackDown. It's been quite some time. I am very much looking forward to that match. That is the match that I am looking forward to most on the Crown Jewel card. Unfortunately, John Cena is not going to be on TV between now and then. We got a little bit from AJ tonight on the mic. We got the line. We got him to deliver the line where he said he can't wait to go beat up John Cena. But that's about all we're going to get outside of probably a video package between now and then because Cena's not going to be around, which is unfortunate because it would have been nice to get one last interaction between the two of them at some point. But you look at the way this Crown Jewel card is shaping up so far, I don't give a single solitary shit about the Crown Jewel titles. They mean nothing to me. But we at least have history to play off of with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. And they've had some great matches in the past. So we're getting Cody and Seth. We have not had Cody against Seth in 3 years. We have Stephanie Vicaire and Tiffany Stratton. We have John Cena against AJ Styles. We have Rhea Ripley and Iyo Sky against Asuka and Kairi Sane. and very likely Roman Reigns against Braun Breaker. And they'll add at least one more. I would say the card is shaping up pretty nicely so far. Even better than WrestlePalooza. As far as the rest of this show, it was a show. It was fine. I can't say it was terribly interesting or exciting, but it was fine. It was a show. And we will talk about it here. This is your Raw on Netflix review. It is the final review here for the month of September. It is September 29th, 2025. I am the Solomonster. Like and subscribe. Super chats are open. Don't forget we have the brand new Kairi Super Chat. That was a big hit last week. So that is in the description as well. I will be reading all of your messages. We'll be doing that a little bit later, but you will see them popping up on your screen. Channel memberships are open as well. We picked up a bunch of new channel members with some of the new retro audio that has gone up recently for the Legends tier members. So thank you guys for that. I appreciate that very much. So let's get into this here. Because the show opened with a very pissed off Rhea Ripley making her way down to the ring. She got the big reaction, as she always does. And she did not look like, just for the record, she did not look like a Smurf this week. Somebody said, I did her dirty in the thumbnail. No, I mean, that's how she looked at the end of last week's show. And actually, yeah, I call her a Smurf. Many people did point out, she actually does look more like someone from one of the Avatar movies. She really does, actually. She should probably be in one of the Avatar movies. But yes, look, I had to. How could I not? That is literally how the woman looked when that show went off the air last week. Oh, there she is. There she is. So you never know. You never know when Asuka is going to strike here on the stream. She's striking early tonight. She's very angry. That was from number one, Homo sapien. Thank you, my friend. So anyway, she gets in the ring and she says that Asuka and Kairi crossed the line with what they did to Iyo Sky. Because they claim that she was family, right? If you remember what happened at the end of Raw last week, we had that great main event between Rhea and Asuka, and Rhea won. And then when the match was over, not only did Rhea get misted, but Asuka attacked Iyo. So that's what Ripley is referring to here. And Ripley said that she wanted to settle things in the ring and she called them out. But instead of getting the Kabuki Warriors, she got Iyo Sky instead. So Iyo comes down to the ring. Perfect timing. Yeah, yes. Yes, they know, hey, they know when to time these things. What can I say? Rhea for the Blue Man Group. She would have fit right in there. Iyo admitted that Ripley was right about Asuka and Kairi, and it broke her heart to say that, but they are her family, and she still loves them. The acting here, I just have to say, the acting here was so cheesy, I had to take a lactate pill before I could eat any of it, okay? Just very, very cheesy stuff. Asuka and Kairi suddenly appeared on the big screen. It was a pre-tape promo that had English subtitles because they went in and out of English and Japanese. Asuka said that she taught Iyo everything she knew and paved the way for her, but now she acted as if none of that mattered. Iyo became champion because of her, but now she calls Rhea family and she tries to forget about her. Asuka was willing to forgive Iyo but wanted an apology. Be like Kairi, she said. You can both be my students. And then we heard briefly from Kairi Sane, who was still acting very hesitant participant in all of this, told Iyo, we can still be a family. And Asuka said that it was too late, though, for Rhea. Now, in the ring, Rhea tried to talk some sense into Iyo and said that she knew what it was like for family to turn on you, referring to the Judgment Day, and that there was no way that Iyo could go back to Asuka and Kairi. So Iyo was very upset by this. She was acting just beside herself. Yes, melodramatic. Trace says melodramatic is a very good word for it. She was acting very melodramatic here. And she just apologized to Rhea and she left. But she only made it about halfway down the aisle because Asuka and Kairi appeared suddenly from behind and they attacked Rhea in the ring. And they started putting the boots to her. Iyo was in the aisle. She turned around to watch this and she's just agonizing over what she should do. Ultimately, she decided to run back to the ring and she pulled Asuka away from Rhea, throwing her down. Kairi pleaded with her until Asuka got up and spat the mist, the blue mist, in Iyo's face. Second week in a row that somebody has been misted here by Asuka. It's good to see, though, that we've at least broken the cycle of people who get misted by Asuka and then end up getting pregnant. That was a thing for a while. I think we've finally broken the cycle. So she misted her in the face. Ripley attacked. Asuka and Kairi fought her off. There was a kick in here that Asuka threw at Rhea's head that missed, but Rhea sold it anyway. Very Eddie Kingston-esque from All Out with the back fist that he beat Big Bill with. So Asuka held Ripley down in the Asuka lock while Kairi came off the top with the insane elbow as Iyo writhed around with her eyes burning. Now, if I tell you, I made a comment on Twitter. My first tweet, and I think my only tweet of the night, and you'll see why in a second. When this segment was over, and I just made a remark, I said, boy, it's a good thing that Iyo is one of the best wrestlers in the world, which she is, and I think she's the best in the company, because Hollywood is definitely not in her future. We hear a lot of stories lately about WWE wrestlers with Paradigm, and this guy, Drew McIntyre, is going to be in the new Highlander movie, and Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes are in the new Street Fighter movie, right? People are doing movies now. A lot of WWE talent are moving on to Hollywood, right? That's to say nothing, of course, of John Cena. So I said, I don't think Hollywood is going to be in the future for Iyo Sky. And look, I'm sure it is not an easy thing for her to go out there to begin with and cut promos live in the ring in a language that is not her first language. She does the best that she can with it, but now she has to go out there and she has to just overact. And like somebody in the chat said, it just comes off as very, melodramatic. So I thought that aspect of it was pretty bad. But again, that's all I said. And I actually said, not only did I put her over as the best wrestler in the world in spite of that, but I also said, in spite of that this is probably the best story that is being told right now on Monday Night Raw, right? They have the stuff with Bayley, which honestly just hasn't been going on that long. I can't really judge it yet. We're still very early into her whole split personality storyline. The Jey Uso LA Knight stuff, which now seems to more be Roman and Jey and Jimmy. That could turn into something interesting, but to me, it's not. To me, it's just not as good because this story has been at least, playing out over a period of time. You could see where it was going. But in my opinion, it's the best story that's being told right now on Raw. Now, you could say that that's a low bar. I wouldn't disagree with you. I would not disagree with you, but right, my opinion. And people really didn't like that I said this on Twitter. Yeah, I really didn't think when I made the comment that I was saying anything that was out of line. But my God, I half the time I'm watching this show, half my time tonight was spent seeing just the absolute dumbest shit. And I thought to myself, why don't we take a look? Why don't we take a look just at a few samples that I pulled? Because I couldn't possibly pull all of it. If you were on Twitter and you were in the thread, you could see it for yourself. But why not, right? Let's just take a small little sample of some of the shit that I got hit with tonight over my opinion over this segment. And I'm actually going to take it back old school here. I'm going to take it back to the RSPW days. You might remember this little jingle I'm going to put on low here in the background. Oh yeah. The clown music, very appropriate here for what I'm about to show you. So I'm just going to show you a few and then we'll move on. And I want to start with this one. I'm going to start with this one right here. In this particular tweet, I was told to go watch AEW, where the best storytelling and matches are where it's at. But you'll notice, I was told this by someone with the name Baby Oos says proceed with caution. It's a little difficult for me to take someone's opinion seriously when their name is Baby Oos says proceed with caution. Now, as I told this person directly, I've screenshotted this for their therapist because they're going to need to add this to this guy's file. We washed that away. I'll show you another one. Here's another one another gem that popped up here on my timeline. Y'all was throwing it back for Romaga Reigns for 4 years. Don't chat her. I have no fucking idea what language is being spoken here. I know it's not English. I honest to God, I have no idea what this person is trying to say. I don't know. I don't even know how to respond to this because I don't know what this person is trying to say. Get that off my screen. And then there's this guy, and then we'll end with this. As you can see here, I was called a nerd. I was called a nerd by someone with Iyo Sky fan account in their bio. And a photo of Iyo as their avatar. Here you go. There you go. Iyo Sky fan account. With a picture. Apparently, Iyo Sky herself, if that picture is to be believed, is tweeting me during the show that she's on. Which is pretty amazing. But this person said, "You're such a nerd. If you want to see acting, go watch a movie. Or let's see you try and cut a promo in full Japanese in front of 10,000 people." This is just a small sample of the messages here that I received. Some were worse than this. Because I dared say that the acting was very overdramatic or melodramatic here from Iyo Sky in this. I know he got me good. Oh boy, he got me real good. Iyo Sky fan called me a nerd, everybody. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to reevaluate my life now. But evidently, you're not allowed to give your opinion here on social media unless you're willing to bathe in this woman's bathwater. The IWC, folks. I really don't have to say anything else here. The IWC. Truly the dumbest collection of characters on the face of the planet. And they prove it each and every single time. It's just, I've never seen anything like it in my life. Sometimes you need a little reminder of what's out there. Yeah, Dawn, I know. I need some ice for that burn, man. I don't know how I'm going to recover from this. I really don't. Second degree. That's a second degree burn, is what that is. Anyway. It was a very eventful Raw tonight for yours truly. Let's move on here. Dominik Mysterio. I'm still trying to figure out what that person was trying to say. Don't chat her. Romaga Reigns. Was I talking up Roman Reigns as a great actor for 4 years? I mean, I have no idea. Was I? Has this person listened to a single episode of my show in the last fucking 18 years? I'm going to guess no. But they come at you quick, man. They come at you quick. If you go up against their hero in some way, shape, or form, oh my God, it's all over. Dominik Mysterio against Rusev for the Intercontinental Championship. The fans treated Dom like the de facto babyface in this match. During the commercial break, he was even getting dirty Dom chants as they were trying to rally him for the comeback. But Rusev was all over him early on. He sent him over the announce desk with a fallaway slam. That took us into a commercial break. 90 seconds into this match. And not much happened until Dom made his comeback following a break, which led to a springboard senton for just a 1 count. Dom went for a 619. Rusev clotheslined him and got booed for doing so. So Rusev set up for a machka kick. Dom spilled out of the ring, and Dom ended up shoving Rusev into the steel steps and hit a 619 to the gut back inside. Dom hit a normal 619. He went for a frog splash. Rusev, though, moved and hit a machka kick, only got a near fall. And the fans cheered. When Dom kicked out from the machka kick, the fans cheered. I'm telling you, he was the babyface here in this match. Rusev applied the accolade. Dom quickly wiggled out of it and left the ring. Dom grabbed his 2 belts because he's got the Intercontinental belt, which is what was on the line here, and he's got the AAA Mega Championship. So he grabbed both of his belts, and he went to go leave. Rusev pulled him back inside, and Dom tried to pull the old Eddie Guerrero trick. He tried to pull the Eddie. Obviously, Eddie being his dad and all, makes sense. So he acted like Rusev hit him with one of the belts, but he did it in such a way where when the referee turned around, he clearly saw Dom trying to do this. So he got caught. He got caught in the act by the referee Eddie Orango. And as Orango took the belt and went to go put it away, put it back outside, Dom low-blowed Rusev with a mule kick, and then he rolled him up deep. A deep stack with the schoolboy. He stole the win. And with that, Dominik retains the Intercontinental Championship. The fans were happy. They popped for Dom's antics here, but otherwise, this was a pretty standard match here. Look, Rusev needs to kill this man the next time he lays eyes on him. Okay, we had weeks of matches between Rusev and Sheamus, who has not been seen since, by the way. And Rusev won. Okay, he beat him. He beat Sheamus. So now he finally gets a shot at the Intercontinental title. He gets outsmarted. He gets pinned by Dominik. If Rusev is not just wrecking shop and just destroying the place next week trying to find this kid, then we're doing something wrong here. Okay, this can't be a one-and-done type situation. So I don't know what their plans are, if they're going to run this back. Maybe, who knows, maybe that's a crown jewel match, if it's going to be a Raw match, if they're going to add more people to this, to the IC title hunt. Maybe Penta fits in there somehow. I don't know. Maybe Sheamus fits in there somehow. I don't know, but he's going to want to kill this boy. He better. But I have to ask this question. I mentioned the referee, Eddie Orango, right? I mentioned Eddie Guerrero too, but I mentioned Eddie Orango as the referee. Why did they force Eddie Orango to work today? Today is the day of mourning. For those who don't know, Eddie Orango, as well as Michael Cole, but Eddie Orango is a known New York Mets fan, like a diehard New York Mets fan. And he should be given bereavement time. And yet they forced this man to come back to work the very next day after this weekend's just depressing, sad weekend. And there he is working tonight. That's just terrible. He should have at least had the night off. Earlier today, LA Knight told Adam Pearce that he wanted a World Heavyweight Championship match because he was the last man to beat Seth Rollins. New Day interrupted them because they wanted a tag team title match. Pearce told them to earn it. Knight tried to dismiss them, so Kofi Kingston told him that only one of them had actually been a world champion before. Knight said that he would be world champion very soon, and he could tell himself that. And he told Adam Pearce to make a match between him and Kofi Kingston for tonight, and then he said, yeah. I mean, if that's what makes him feel better, that's fine. If he wants to tell himself that he's going to be the world heavyweight champion soon, that's cute and all, but you and I both know that ain't going to happen, so the match was made for later in the show. There was a shot of Cody Rhodes' tour bus outside the arena, followed by part 1 of a video package exploring the history between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, from Cody's return at WrestleMania 3 years ago all the way through the torn pec at Hell in a Cell a few months later. By the way, they are using a Green Day song as the official song for Crown Jewel, One-Eyed Bastard, which is pretty cool. We got a rock song here for Crown Jewel. I like it. I also think they're doing a good job of focusing more on the history between these two men as opposed to the Crown Jewel Championship, which is what's on the line. I guess the championship, the ring, none of that means anything. Like, I don't give a shit about that. So instead of focusing, the Crown Jewel Championship is on the line, who gives a fuck? They're focusing more, the more interesting aspect of this is the history between these three men. Between these two men. Yes. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins and the referee, 3 men. Cody is obviously undefeated against them, 3-0. They've had some great matches together even last year, right? Seth Rollins helped him. He was his shield at WrestleMania 40, so they're better off just making this more about that and just letting the Crown Jewel title almost be an afterthought here because, again, who cares? You know, it's the big gaudy belt that they dust off once a year, and it's only recently established. I mean, maybe 5 years from now, it'll have some equity and people will give a shit, but I don't see how anybody could care, honestly. I don't see how anybody could care about these belts. So backstage, we had...
I am the
Oh, no.
Shut the fuck up.
Had the learnings. He's coming soon. Oh, he's coming soon.
Fuck that.
Not if I can help it. Chop that shit down. A few more months, I think we're gonna be talking about the learning tree here on Monday Night Raw. So backstage, we had Happy Bayley. She was happy this week. Approached Lyra Valkyria, who was not buying what Bayley was selling. She did not want to be around this woman after what happened last week. Bayley was even wearing a Lyra Valkyria t-shirt, but that didn't work for her the way that she thought it would. Bayley wanted Lyra to be in her corner tonight for her match and admitted that she can't do it without her. And Valkyria didn't want to give her any more chances. Said, "You're on your own." And why not? Bayley wanted her to be in her corner for her match last week on the show. And you saw what happened. Bayley snapped on her. Shoved her down on her ass. Fuck her. Let her fight her own battles. I'm with Lyra on this. She did nothing wrong. But that led into Bayley on her own, one-on-one against Raquel Rodriguez. Bayley went for a Hurricane Rana off the apron. Raquel caught her and swung her into the barricade. Bayley fought back after a commercial break and hit a senton bomb for a 2 count. I just noticed we're already halfway to the bonus goal. We might actually have Bonus be the booker tonight. How about that? Let's keep it going. So they were in North Carolina. They were in Raleigh, North Carolina tonight, if I didn't mention that. So Bayley did the Hardy Boys pose before she did the senton bomb. Rodriguez and Bayley, they messed up a spot. I don't know what they were going for, but they moved on. Raquel clotheslined her. Bayley responded with a figure 4 leg lock, I guess paying tribute to Ric Flair, I guess, since they were in North Carolina. Raquel called the referee for help, though, to distract her. This allowed Roxanne Perez to rake Bayley's eyes from the floor and then break the hold, which the referee did not see because the referee has absolutely no peripheral vision whatsoever. Rodriguez followed with a big boot and a Tejana bomb for the win. So the heels attacked Bayley after the match was over, and so she couldn't help herself. She's got a good heart. She's a good soul. Lyra Valkyria comes out to make the save. And the heels got the better of her. Bayley, though, suddenly snapped. And she cleared the ring all by herself. And Bayley started cackling like a heel. And Lyra was scared of what was about to happen here. She has no idea how Bayley is going to respond, if she's going to come over and start, attacking her, berating her. But Bayley helped her up. And she was acting all friendly with her. She was wanting to celebrate and saying, "We got her, we got her." And Lyra was just completely dumbfounded by all this. One of these weeks, I hate to laugh, but I mean, one of these weeks, they're gonna like open the show, and you're just gonna see bodies everywhere in the back. It's gonna be like, if you remember when the Wyatt Six debuted, and that camera just followed through the back, and there were just like bodies everywhere. But it's gonna be because of Bayley, because this woman is just gonna snap one of these weeks. She's like hanging on by a thread. So the Usos met backstage. And Jimmy wanted to know why Jay walked away from him in LA Knight last week. Jay said that helping LA Knight got them nowhere. And he was the reason that they lost at WrestlePalooza. Jay wanted to know why Jimmy helped him in the first place. He was really angry. Like, why did you help him last week? So Jay basically reiterated what Roman Reigns told him all those many weeks ago, that they shouldn't be helping anyone. They need to be looking out for themselves. So Jay said that he did what he had to do. He beat LA Knight, mission accomplished. If he did more of that, maybe he would be the world heavyweight champion right now. And he said that was something that Jimmy didn't understand. And Jay told him, forget about LA Knight so that we could take care of the Brons tonight. Backstage, the useless medical staff was still tending to Iyo Sky, who was covered in blue goo after what happened in the opening segment, which, by the way, it was almost an hour after the opening segment, and this woman, her eyes are still burning. She's still blue mist all over her fucking face. And like the medical staff is like, what can we do for you? Like, what do you need? What the fuck do you think she needs? Wash her off. Kairi Sane approaches Iyo. Tries reasoning with her. Kairi wanted Iyo to apologize to Asuka so that they could be one big happy family again. Iyo told Kairi to leave her alone. And we had a crestfallen Kairi Sane walking off, but not before leaving a photo of the three of them together with Iyo. I think she left it in her lap. And the camera zoomed in on the photo so we could see the picture. For those of us who, I guess, are legally blind, gotta zoom in on that shit. After this, we had LA Knight one-on-one with Kofi Kingston. Knight had control until a distraction by Xavier Woods allowed Kingston to take over ahead of the break. Knight made a comeback. He hit a slingshot shoulder tackle from the apron into the ring and then hit a neck breaker. Woods distracted Knight again, this time by jumping up on the apron right in front of the referee. Knight knocked him off. Kingston rolled him up with his feet on the ropes only for a 2 count. Knight then ducked the Trouble in Paradise. He hit the BFT and he got the win. Very straightforward. But my first thought was, hey, he actually won a match. Good for you. I mean, this was a very paint by numbers, television match. Not much to it. Best thing I can say about it is that at least he won. He hasn't done that very many times. Remember, I counted last week. I think in his last 7 matches on the show, he had won 1 match. Now he won 2. Maybe he can get his own streak going. In the back, Becky Lynch approached Maxine Dupree and Akira Tozawa. She mocked Dupree for being a loser. Lynch called herself the greatest of all time and reminded us that everybody was saying it, including Sports Illustrated and the Bleacher Report. Maybe I should, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to, usually I wait until the end of the year for this, and I announce Wrestler of the Year and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to make a declaration right now that officially, Solomonster Sounds Off approved. Becky Lynch is the best wrestler in the world. So if we get that out there, she could incorporate that into her promos. So she could go, I'm not the only one saying it. ESPN is saying it. The Bleacher Report is saying it. Even the Solomonster is saying it, right? We'll hear that each week on the show. So let's spread the word. Becky Lynch, number 1. Iyo Sky, number 2. So Maxine said that, well, not everybody is saying it. Certainly not AJ Lee. And Tozawa started giggling, so Becky punched him, and he dropped to the floor. Maxine stood up for Tozawa, so Becky backed off. And when she went to go check on Tozawa, Becky attacked her from behind until officials came in and broke it up. Becky then walked over, and Seth Rollins was standing there. And he asked, do you feel better now? She said, a little bit. He asked Seth if he wanted her to go out there with him, and he said, no, he needs to do this on his own. He was looking very serious. And off he went to the ring for the next segment. Yes, Ava, see, there you go. Ava's like, Solomonster's saying it. ESPN is saying it. Bleacher Report is saying it. Solomonster is saying it. If Solomonster is saying it, then it must be true. Unless, of course, you're an Iyo Sky fan. Then Solomonster is a nerd who doesn't know what he's talking about. How dare you talk about acting on a television show? You fucking freak. So Seth Rollins, he entered for the next segment. Crowd sang his song. They chanted for CM Punk. They chanted OTC. And the fans remember that he actually is not feuding with any of these men at the moment, so they eventually started singing for Cody Rhodes. So Seth acknowledged that he had lost all 3 matches against Cody in the past. It didn't bother him, though, because it didn't matter. He said those were in the past. Those versions of Rhodes and Rollins are a thing of the past. They were both men trying to reach the top, but now, heading into Crown Jewel, they were on top. The winner of the match would not just be the Crown Jewel champion. The winner might just decide the next 10 to 20 years of the entire industry. Now, he didn't explain how or why. It's a wrestling match. It's a wrestling match, but apparently the winner of this match may well control the destiny, the fate of this company and of this business for decades to come. I would love to know how. They didn't explain. Rollins didn't understand why anybody would want Cody to win that match and lead this company into the future. So Rollins said he's done everything right. He stayed with this company when times were tough. He brought the company into its golden age. He took two young men, Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, took them under his wing so they could reach the top. Rollins has tried to rid this place of cancers like Roman Reigns and CM Punk, and yet still, people chant for Cody Rhodes. Cody then entered, got a big reception. He wanted to know what Rollins was even talking about, as if either of them had any control over the future of the industry. Thank you, Cody. Cody actually making some sense out here. Rhodes looked at the crowd and said they were the ones who controlled the future. Actually, I feel like His Excellency over in Saudi, he probably controls the future more than any other single person. If we're being honest here. It's not Cody. It's not Seth. It's not Paul Levesque. We know who it is. So Rollins claimed that it was him who sent the bronze, because Cody, at this point here in the promo, he wondered who was really in charge, because he mentioned the fact that on SmackDown, Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, if you remember, they showed up. But it wasn't Rollins who sent them. Cody said it was Paul Heyman. Rollins claimed, no, it was me. I sent them because every decision runs through me. So Rhodes wondered, was it also your idea for Paul Heyman to introduce Brock Lesnar to WrestlePalooza? And this clearly bothered Seth. You can see the expression on his face. He reiterated every decision runs through him, but he didn't exactly look like a man who honestly believed what he was saying. Rhodes said Crown Jewel should be about best versus best. He wondered, where would we be in 20 years? Would they be sitting in the back reminiscing about the past? Rhodes recalled Rollins being his shield at WrestleMania 40. He thought Rollins was his friend. So Rollins snapped at this point. He told him to shut up. Rollins said that he was never Cody's friend. That act at WrestleMania, it was a means to an end. Rhodes was the lesser of two evils. They would never be friends reminiscing about the past. They would never shake hands. That will never happen. Rollins plans on cleansing the timeline at Crown Jewel. Everything that happened between them before was dead. Rollins would write a new future at Crown Jewel. This was good. I like this. I like that, Cody brought up Paul Heyman pulling the strings behind Seth's back, because it's almost like parallel storylines in a way. I mentioned before what we got at the end of the show with Roman and Jimmy and Jay, and it almost, you could sense the tension there and maybe where the story might be going and cracks within the family. And Cody was teasing a similar thing. I don't know if they're going to pursue it in any meaningful way, but I like that he was at least trying to, raise tensions here within the vision. Like, oh, so everything runs through you. So you were aware that these guys were going to be on SmackDown. You were aware that Paul Heyman was going to introduce Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza. And clearly Seth was not in the loop on that. So how is that going to affect the friendship, the relationship between Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman? It adds an interesting element to the Vision story if they want to pursue it. I'm personally, again, I find that way more intriguing. The story here, I find way more intriguing here than anything related to the Crown Jewel Championship itself. Now, backstage, Rhea Ripley approached Iyo Sky, who was still covered in blue mist. Iyo told Ripley she was right about Asuka. See, and I actually thought Iyo was great here, because here she wasn't acting all like over the top, melodramatic. She was sitting there. She looked resigned to the situation. Like she had had time to sit there and think on it and mull about the whole situation, mull it over. And she realized now, even though she didn't want to, what needs to be done. So she was more serious. She was more calm. And Iyo told Rhea, "You were right about Asuka. I spoke to Pierce, and I got us a tag team match against the Kabuki Warriors at Crown Jewel." Ripley asked Iyo if she could trust her. Iyo said she could. Kairi was lost, she said, and she can't go back to them. So Rhea says she's in. They shared a hug, and then Rhea went off to go get Iyo some water. Yeah, Why didn't anyone think of that over the last 2 hours? That's a really good question. You know what? Maybe I should go get you some water so you're not sitting here for another 2 hours covered in blue goo with your eyes burning. Good job there, medical. We had AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. AJ Lee. Wait, hold on. That was too late, man. I should have been quicker. I should have been quicker on the button there. Yes. We had the team of AJ Lee here taking on Los Americanos. Dragon Lee, believe it or not, actually got some promo time in the ring before this match. That never happens. So they put a mic in his hand. It's a very short promo, but he said that he was honored to team with AJ Styles tonight, and he was coming for Dom's AAA Mega Championship. Yes, those two are going to have a match at the AAA show on, I believe, October 25th. So Dragon Lee is next in line for the AAA Mega title. JDFVA, what? Come on, man. That was good. Come on, you got to admit. I had to. I had no choice. AJ Styles then spoke about his crown jewel match against John Cena. Styles said that it was thanks to all of you, all of the fans, that this match is happening, and now I get to do something that I love. I get to beat up John Cena. So after this, El Grande Americano led the other two Americanos down to the ring, and they have names now. Bravo was the one in blue, and Rio was the one in red. So they went to a break 30 seconds into this match, and the Americanos had the heat on Dragon Lee as the fans watched on very quietly. The crowd woke up when AJ made the hot tag. He ran wild. He wiped out El Grande Kaiser outside with a springboard forearm to the floor. Dragon Lee wiped out one of the Americanos with a dive, while AJ hit a Styles Clash on the other one for the win. And that was the end of that. Obviously, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate under the masks. The what were they? The new. Oh God, what the hell was the name of the team? The quarter catch crew. Help me out here. What was the name of their tag team? It's been so long, I already forgot. The new quarter catch crew, I think, was the name of their team. Nobody remembers? Well, isn't that an indictment on creative? Nobody remembers. All right, moving on. We go backstage. Jackie Redmond interviewed Stephanie Vicaire about her match against Tiffany Stratton at Crown Jewel. New Catch Republic. Okay, I was confusing the group from NXT, the No Quarter Catch crew. I was confusing them with the New Catch Republic. Thank you. So backstage, Jackie Redmond interviewed Stephanie Vicaire about her match against Tiffany Stratton at Crown Jewel. Vicaire said that she respected Tiffany, but Tiffany would learn why nobody could stop her. And then, all of a sudden, Tiffany Stratton appears. The WWE Women's Champion, who is not on Raw, had no business being on Raw, didn't wrestle on Raw. I would hope they at least brought her in for a dark match. What the fuck was she doing there? She's just randomly in the back? So yeah, she just walks into the shot, and Stratton says that she has proven herself as champion against some of the best over the past 268 days. Stephanie has only been on top for a few weeks, and she would learn that it was still Tiffy time. And Vicaire said that Tiffany's time was over. So very quick and very basic and very unexpected. I didn't think Tiffany Stratton was going to be there. I don't know why she was there. Seems like kind of a waste to fly her in just for that. Could have done something maybe with them on SmackDown, but what do I know? Meanwhile, at the gorilla position, the Vision was there. We had a very serious Seth Rollins with the rest of his crew. He told Paul Heyman that he needs to beat Cody Rhodes. And Heyman was upbeat. He was confident that he would, but Rollins cut him off and said, I have to beat him. I have to. And Heyman went off with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed for the main event. It was a Tornado tag team match against Jimmy and Jey Uso. The Bronze, by the way, they now have matching leather jackets that have little silver spikes on the shoulders and the Vision logo on the back of the jackets. So the Usos attacked the Bronze with stereo dives before they could even get into the ring. The Bronze fought them off and eventually took control anyway. The highlight of this was Braun Breaker putting Jimmy Uso through the announce desk with a leaping clothesline off the timekeeper's barricade, and the table actually collapsed. I have to point out when that happens because these days it takes a lot to break these desks, but the table did collapse here. And Breaker then buried Big Jim under one of the giant announcer chairs and left him for dead. So this left Jey on his own for a while. Jey tried fighting back. Reed cut him off with the world's strongest slam. The Bronze followed with the old Steiner Brothers electric chair bulldog off the top rope. Reed went up for a tsunami splash when Jimmy rose from the dead and got up on the apron, shoved him off the top rope. Jimmy hit Breaker with a super kick and a pop-up Samoan drop. Reed, though, came back with a jagged edge to Jimmy. And then Breaker speared Jey. Breaker stacked up the Usos. Reed was going up top for a tsunami splash, but wait just a minute. Music stopped him. Do you know whose music stopped him? Roman Reigns' music stopped him. That's right. Akuma himself. Back on Raw. And he took his sweet-ass time coming out, too. But when he finally walked out, he had a chair in his hand. He dumped Breaker from the ring. He hit Reed repeatedly in the back with the chair. Eventually sent him over the barricade and into the crowd. Breaker tried to attack from behind. Reigns hit him with the chair. Put him back in the ring. Jimmy super kicked Breaker. Jey followed with a spear. Jimmy and Jey then hit Breaker with simultaneous Uso splashes and pinned him to win the match. The match itself was fine. I feel like I have seen this 15 times already. I mean, seriously, I just feel like I've seen it so many times. It all just blends together at this. It's like one giant blob. That's what this is. It's the Blob. Remember the movie The Blob? That's what this is. It's the Blob. It's the Raw Blob. You just throw it all together. I don't know what else to say about this. When the match was over, though, that was the telling moment. When the match was over, Roman was irate, and he's attacking Breaker again with a chair. Eventually, Breaker escapes. So Roman and Jey, they came face to face, and the camera's right up in front of them, and Roman is like giving him a pep talk. And they even bleeped out some of the words that they were saying. But Roman is basically telling him, I told you, smash them all. And Jey was into it. He was agreeing with everything that his cousin was saying. And the way they shot it, again, you could see Jimmy Uso standing just a few feet away in the background up against the ropes watching this, and clearly not liking what he was seeing. He was very skeptical. He was very concerned about the interaction between his brother and his cousin. And that's the story that they'll tell, I think. Jimmy doesn't agree with this whole look out for yourself stuff. That's why last week he opted to go out there and save LA Knight, even though Jey had no interest in doing so. They don't share the same philosophy. That pep talk that Roman gave Jey over a month ago, Jimmy doesn't subscribe to that. But now he sees that his brother has, once again, all these years later, it's as if his brother is being corrupted all over again by Roman Reigns. That's the story I think that they could pursue here. That's the story it felt like they were possibly going to pursue here. It just would add another layer to the bloodline story. I know it feels like, we're going back to this again, but it is an interesting little wrinkle to throw into the bloodline family stuff if that's what they wanted to do. But it also sure felt like we were setting up a singles match here for Crown Jewel, which is not official yet, but I expect it to be between Roman Reigns and Braun Breaker, because we already got Roman and Bronson Reed and the shoes, right? The shoe La Fala, that's all in the past now. Roman and Breaker is a big match. Roman and Breaker could still one day be a WrestleMania main event, in the next few years. But doing that match at Crown Jewel, which I think they will, the Battle of the Spears, that's going to be a big match. Now, we know Roman won the last match here, but against Breaker, I'm sure the temptation there is to have Roman win in a competitive match, but man, it would mean a lot if Braun Breaker could go out there and actually beat Roman Reigns. What a feather in his cap that would be. Instead of just hanging with the guy. So that's a big match to do. Now, next week, Raw is going to be in Dallas. Raw is back to its normal start time for 1 week only. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Be aware of that. The following week is the Raw after Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel is in Perth. Crown Jewel is airing at 8 a.m. Eastern time, which means Raw that Monday, I believe, is airing at 8 a.m. Eastern time. After that, I don't know what the plan is. I've read reports that, they might stick to the 7 p.m. Eastern start time more often for the remainder of the football season. I don't know what they're going to do. But for next week at least, my birthday. We're back to normal time for Solomonster's birthday. Next month, we're going to have a big birthday celebration on the stream next week. Everybody's invited. So that'll be next Monday. But on that show next week, CM Punk is back. They didn't say anything about AJ Lee, but CM Punk will be there. Becky Lynch is going to wrestle Maxine Dupree. Non-title match. Maybe that's where AJ Lee shows up. And Lyra Valkyria goes one-on-one with Roxanne Perez. So that is the current early lineup for Raw next Monday. Let's take a look at the Twitter poll. The cesspool that is X. What did you think of Raw here tonight? Just shy of 50%. Thumbs up. 49.2% to be exact. Thumbs up. 33.6% thumbs in the middle. And we have 17.1% thumbs down for the show. And as always, again, you can vote in these polls on X. It is at Solomonster if you wish to do so. It's about that time. We get into your super chats. We are 6 out of 10 on the goal. We're actually still about 80 likes away from Be the Booker, period. So as of this moment, there is no Be the Booker. So let's see if we can hit that 400 minimum to do some B2B as I go through these questions. Andre says, surprised X didn't glaze, a little more like usual. Yeah, just under 50%. That is unusual. Breakfast with Raw. Yeah, Raw at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning, that just doesn't feel right. It don't feel right, man. It just doesn't. We're going to start with Victor here. There he is. Victor says, who should induct John Cena into the Hall of Fame? Who should induct John Cena into the Hall of Fame? It should be one of 3 people. Randy Orton would be an obvious one. Kurt Angle would be another obvious one. I'll throw one out there. And I guess it couldn't be next year if they wanted to induct Cena because she's already going in, but Stephanie McMahon. Because were it not for Stephanie McMahon, it is entirely not only possible, but likely that John Cena would not even be getting a Hall of Fame induction in the first place. She ended up being a pretty instrumental part of his career. I think my vote would be Stephanie, honestly. The Winston Slip says, favorite man. I love that super chat. Oh, Sting. The LOL TNA days. The Winston Slip says, favorite match from Raw that wasn't a main event. That wasn't a main event. I was tempted to say the 1-2-3 Kid and Bret Hart for the WWE Championship. But technically, even though that opened the show, that was the main event of the show that night. I'm going to go Shawn Michaels and Shelton Benjamin in the Gold Rush tournament on Raw back in 2005 with the very famous leaping into the super kick finish. If not that match, it was actually another match on Raw later that year. That also was not the main event, but they had a 30-minute Iron Man match between Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle. So either of those 2 matches would get my vote. Dominik beats Rusev on his own. Oh, he beat Rusev on his own. So happy for Dominik. Joseph is very happy that Dom beat Rusev on it. Well, he did. He did actually needed no help from the Judgment Day. You are technically correct. Joseph's got a bunch of super chats here. Thank you, Joseph. Joseph is a big supporter. Joseph is one of our VIPs around here. It says buy or sell Ra's al Ghul or the Joker. Oh, the Joker. Easily. Buy or sell Catwoman or Talia al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul's daughter. Catwoman. Says, what is your favorite Batman the Animated Series episode? I don't have a favorite episode. I only saw a handful of the episodes from the series. So I can't say that I actually have a standalone episode that stands out to me from that show. I can't say that I have a favorite episode of any cartoon that I've ever watched. I don't know if there's a favorite like cartoon episode that stands out for me. Yeah, I watched a lot of them when I was younger, but I can't say I have any one that really is head and shoulders above the rest for me. Hey, look at that. I see that wrench. Sidro is with us. Hope he's doing well. Joseph says, have you seen the movie The Deer Hunter from 1978 with Robert De Niro, Meryl Streep, and Christopher Walken? Yes, many years ago I saw The Deer Hunter. It's a classic. Saw Deliverance too. Never Again. Have you seen the movie Point Break from 1991 with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze? Believe it or not, I never did. I never saw Point Break. Sidro, I'm thinking about you, buddy. It's going to be a tough day, but you'll get through it. Thinking about you. We're up to 373 likes. We're getting close. We're getting close. Joseph says, did you know David Warner was the voice of Ra's al Ghul in Batman the Animated Series? I did not. Although Kevin Conroy, right? Kevin Conroy was the voice of Batman, I believe, right? And then Mark Hamill was the voice of the Joker? Mark Hamill was the Joker, man. Joseph says, could the Jurassic Express gimmick of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus work in today's WWE? Absolutely. Sure it can. You got Alexa Bliss running around with a doll. You got the Wyatt Six running around killing people, giant mallets and shit. You don't think that Jurassic Express can't get over and work on the WWE roster? Of course it can. Joseph says, were you a fan of Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul in Batman Begins? I like Liam Neeson as an actor. I got to tell you, though, I'm not really a big fan of Batman Begins. I'm really not. It was not one of my favorite movies. Well, it's not a bad movie. It didn't do for me what The Dark Knight did for me. Joseph says, what is your favorite ending to a Batman movie? Well, I mean, I think
it's the amazing Goonthar.
I'll get back to you in a second.
Jerry Lawler loves Goonthar the Magnificent. All hail Goonthar.
Oh, we got Aaron in the house. Aaron bringing out Goonthar on a Monday night. That's how you know it's a good night. And that gets us to 7 out of 10. Aaron, thank you. Gonna get to you here in a minute, Aaron. Always good to see Gunther. Now we got to get Gunther back on TV. We got Gunther, now we need Gunther. But Joseph, to answer your question, what is my favorite ending to a Batman movie? It is The Dark Knight. I love how it ended. I just love how, basically he sacrificed himself to preserve the image and the memory of Harvey Dent and not let people know what kind of monster he allowed himself to turn into. And, you know, prove the Joker wrong in the process. I just think it's a really well done ending. And I'll give you another one. And boy, I haven't seen this in a long time, but I remember liking it. The ending of the, funny enough, the animated movie Batman: The Mask of the Phantasm. I thought had a pretty cool ending too. Oh, we got Ragnarok. $5 super chat. So that opening segment had acting worthy of a movie that went straight to Tubi. Uh-oh. Don't let the sickos hear you say that. Yes, believe it or not, there are WWE sickos as well as AEW sickos. I saw it myself tonight. I'm not sure which is worse. I'm not sure which is worse. But if you allow the sickos to hear you say that, they'll come for you. They'll spit blue mist at you. But you are not wrong. Thank you, Ragnarok. Joseph Stewart. Yeah, don't chat her. That's right. Hey, Ragnarok, don't chat her. How dare you? Nerd. Don't chat her. I don't know what that means, but don't do it. Joseph Stewart says, if you were asked to write and direct a Batman movie, what would your Batman story and who would be your villains in the movie? And would Robin and Batgirl be in the movie as well? I mean, that's a lot to take in. I mean, I don't know what the story would be. I really don't. That's a really good question. I would want the Joker in the movie. I don't need Robin in the movie. I might put Robin in there and then kill him off, because I think it would be really impactful if we can have a scene in the movie where Robin, you know, heroically tries to save Batman. It's like he tries to take a bullet, so to speak, for him, whatever that looks like in a particular scene, and then he gets killed. Batgirl, I don't need Batgirl in the movie, but the Joker would be in there. The Joker has to be an integral part of the story. That much I know. Ed Swoggle, did you know that the Mortal Kombat theme was written in a Scandinavian church? It was a Finnish hymn. Thank you for all you do, Solo. Wow. I did not know that. That Mortal Kombat theme, man, from that movie, the first movie, is fucking badass. Victor, buy, sell, rent. X-Men, Avengers, Fantastic Four. Man, that's it's a good one. But I gotta buy Avengers, I gotta rent X-Men, and I gotta sell Fantastic Four. That's what I gotta do. I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm sorry. Victor has another one here. Buy or sell. Bret Hart 1994 or Bret Hart 1997? Those are the two best versions of Bret Hart that you just named. What have you done to me? 94 Bret is my favorite. I'm going to buy on 94 Bret, but Bret in 97, just in terms of just the gimmick, the heel turn, the Hart Foundation. I'll take Bret as far as in-ring and his matches from 94. Character-wise, if I can merge the two together, I mean, it would just be the perfect combination. But if you force my hand, I'm sorry, I got to go 94 and then 97. Victor says, RKO doesn't have many classic one-on-one matches. Why? Yeah, I mean, he's good. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's fair necessarily, but I think a lot of it does depend on who he's in the ring with, because Orton just had a very methodical style that could be very boring. Like the matches he had with Triple H, for the most part, to me, were just very boring. You know, I mean, it just, their styles didn't mesh well. But like the matches that Orton had with Christian, especially their SummerSlam match, I love those matches. Right? A lot of it really depends on who he was in the ring with. So, I mean, he had classic matches, but it is harder for me to sit here and give you off the top of my head a top 5 or a top 10 for him, more so than it would be even John Cena. It'd be a lot easier for me to do that with John Cena than it would for Randy Orton. So you're not totally wrong, but I think that had a lot to do with it. I think it was just a lot to do with his style, which was a very slow, methodical style that just didn't lend itself very well to very many exciting matches. Victor, what has been your toughest buy or sell? I think the one you just gave me on Bret Hart, 94 and 97. Robbie H5 with the 20. Hey, Robbie. Thank you, brother. Look at Robbie. I was at the show tonight, crying shame how over LA Knight is and what he is relegated to. Building still going crazy for him. Penta too, but hey, at least he won. Also, good job on AJ Styles getting his match against John Cena. Thankfully, I was losing hope. At this point, with as few matches as he has left, I just didn't think it was going to happen. I'm glad we're getting it. Boots, is Yoshihiko qualified to compete for the AEW Women's Tag Team titles? If so, Mercedes Moné might partner up with Yoshihiko and go after those titles. I don't think Mercedes cares. You can put the blow up doll with her. You could, as long as she has a partner, she's going to take those titles. She has more belts to collect now. Last I heard, Yoshihiko was in retirement after a very serious injury recently. But if they can blow Yoshihiko back up, I'm sure Yoshihiko would come out of retirement. JDFVA, thank you. Live, Laugh, Love, Lie. Did you see the Halloween video game trailer? Was there something new that dropped today? I think there was something I saw a few weeks ago. I don't know if that's what you're referring to. I thought I saw something that looked kind of cool, but again, I don't know if that's what you're referring to. We are at 4:15, by the way, so we're going to be doing Be the Booker. We got 3 more to go, though, on that super chat goal if we do a second round, so stay tuned. We have got C's with a $4.99. Says, fuck Mercedes Moné, Iyo Sky FC on top. Iyo Sky FC? I assume he's an Iyo Sky fan over Mercedes Moné. Put the two of them together in a match. It'd be a hell of a match. Would love to see it. It was last week? Okay, well then I didn't see it. I thought I saw some sort of Halloween game trailer. Maybe it was an early teaser, but this was maybe a couple months ago. So if it was something that came out or dropped last week, I did not see it. Yeah, the gameplay trailer. No, I did not see it. Is it worth me going and checking out after this? MGM ballin' with the $9.99. MGM's always ballin', man. Always. I know Io's acting ain't good, but let's not excuse Rhea. The only thing making her words and demeanor is her stature. Also, love hearing Down since day one-ish is... Oh, yes. The Usos song, that's right. Love hearing Down since day one-ish back. Yeah, it's kind of like a mix now. It's like they merged Jimmy and Jay's theme, kind of. It's the remix. Number 1, Homo sapien, how do you make a witch itch? Take away her W. I love you solo. If you take away her W, that's true. Becomes itch. You could also put a B in there. Thank you, Homo sapien. We have got Sidro. There he is. Why should a dentist and a manicurist never marry? Because they would both fight tooth and nail. Why did the scientist get rid of his doorbell? Oh my God. He wanted to win the Nobel Prize. And Sidro's undefeated tonight. He wanted to win the Nobel Prize. Retro KOH, you just jinxed it. Give it a few weeks. Buddy and Rhea will announce their impending parenthood. Oh boy, did I jinx it? I said, there was this curse of Asuka's mist where she would mist somebody in the face and then within weeks or months we would find out they were pregnant. But it just seems like it's true. It's only been a week. I guess I shouldn't have said anything. Buddy is still home recuperating from his ankle injury. He doesn't have a lot going on, so start fooling around, anything can happen. Proceed with caution. Sidro. My girlfriend couldn't accept my obsession with horoscopes. In the end, it tore us apart. Went to the zoo the other day and saw a baguette in a cage. It was bred in captivity. These are really good tonight, I have to say. These are some of the best I've seen from you in a while. And again, you haven't been with us on Monday in a while. It was bred in captivity. Buddy don't look like the kind of guy who is cautious. Duff's Vids. My mom used to tell me an apple a day keeps the doctor away. I don't know if it's true or a granny's myth. Granny Smith apples are actually not my favorite. I feel like they don't have a lot of flavor. You know which ones are great? Snapdragon. Snapdragon apples are my favorite. There she is. There she is. Asuka screaming for Kairi. 0.216. Thank you for the 15. You'll be coming up here in a little bit on this list. Duff's Vids, thank you. JDFVA, those Twitter users need better help. They definitely need a therapist. I got a code for them. Honestly, I think they're beyond better help. I don't even think better help can help these people. I think these people are beyond help. You have better help? This is beyond help. I don't have a code for that. I'm sorry. I can't help you. Corey Blake with the 10. Hey, Solo. Sending well wishes and prayers to your family. Thank you, brother. Where the hell are Julius and Brutus Creed? I believe they're in NXT, aren't they? I know they've been there more recently than they've been on Raw. Buy or sell on the better sequel, RoboCop 2 or Predator 2? By the way, our beloved Mets failed us again. Beloved, huh? Yeah, it's not a word I would use. I'm going to go RoboCop 2. The movie is just more memorable to me. Duff's Vids, why couldn't the toilet paper cross the road? It got stuck in a crack. Thank you, Duffs. Duffs is, he's going to the toilet humor tonight. Bobby's World with the 12. Very late to the party here, but want you to know that I've been praying for you with your recent family issues. Thank you, Bobby. Very kind to you, Bobby. Thank you for the learning tree. I appreciate that. OMG, it's Winky with a 5. The next big thing, Romaga Reigns in Be the Booker or maybe a new super chat. I'm still trying to figure out what that person was trying to say in that tweet. I'm at a loss. Like, what was the correlation between Roman Reigns for the last 4 years and the acting of Iyo Sky in that set? Like, again, the brain rot that exists on that platform and in this wrestling community on there is unlike anything that I've ever seen. It's very, very sad and very scary. Duff's Vids. How do you know Mike Tyson is against religions? He's always punching people. He's always punching people in the face. Very good. Very good. He's always punching people in the face. Oh man. Where you guys come up with these? Diego Vasquez went to Universal's Halloween Horror Nights and saw the Wyatt Maze. How was that? How was that? I was going to try to make my way down there. It's not going to happen this year, but it looks like it would be very interesting to walk through that. Diego says, I'm all in for the J drama. Hook it to my veins. The Sheltered Kid, what are the top 5 WWE loudest cities, do you think? I mean, take a look at some of the international ones they've been to recently, right? Lyon, France. Paris, France. I would say you got to put Puerto Rico on there. I just think back to that Backlash show a few years ago. They haven't been back there since, but San Juan, Puerto Rico. Chicago, of course. London. And I don't know, maybe Toronto? Duff's Vids, I went to the doctors and told him I was having hearing issues. He said, can you explain the symptoms? I said, Marge have big blue hair and Homer is fat. I was having hearing issues. He said, can you explain the symptoms? I said, Marge have big blue hair and Homer is fat. What am I missing here? Help me out here. The Yatagaratsu, if I was Jimmy Uso, I would avoid any barbershop windows for the next couple of months. Oh, okay. Can you explain? Okay, I get it. All right. He was having hearing issues. He said, can you explain the symptoms, not the Simpsons? He thought he said the Simpsons. And he said, Marge has big blue hair and Homer is fat. Okay. I get it now. Prince Vegeta 95. Roman Reigns' career till he retires is literally going to be this. Return, have one match, get beaten up, repeat. It's pretty repetitive and lame. I don't know how many more years, honestly, he wants to even do this. But you're probably right. That's probably pretty much the story of his career for the next few years. Broly7 says, does Triple H have the balls to do Bron and Reigns at Crown Jewel? Does he have the balls to do it? I don't think you need balls to do it. It's just common sense. The better question is, does he have the balls to have Bron beat Roman Reigns? See, now that's the question. You want to have big balls. You have Bron Breakker beat Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel. That would take some balls. Hulkling93 Solo. Why aren't you on bereavement then? Must endure the suffering, I guess. Well, I got a job to do, brother. And I had already mentally prepared myself for what was coming, so it wasn't like it caught me by surprise. I knew exactly what to expect. Terrible dried chicken. I was enjoying some celery and carrots over raw. It sounds like a fine idea. It's a very healthy night. Hulkling93 says LOL, and your all-out review. 50-year-old Adam Copeland going super mode, and then cut to you shutting down the age criticism directed to LA Knight. Well, there's a big difference there, brother. I never saw LA Knight kick out of the shit that Adam Copeland kicked out of in that match. Also, there's a 10-year difference between them. So, I know you were just trying to be funny, but for the people who are going to hear this and think you were being serious. Big difference there between those two. I got Chris AXC. Hey, Solo. Is it crazy to call Bron, Fatu, Dom, and Logan the four pillars of WWE? Akin to the AEW pillars. Who main events WrestleMania first? Again, it goes to the question of how do you define pillar? I hear the word pillar. I think it's let's say four pillars. It's the four people who are the most important right now to the company. You know, in the present and in the future. So, you know, when you think of current WWE pillars, I think of people like Cody Rhodes. I think of Seth Rollins. If you want to talk about young talent on the ascent that will help carry the company for the next 5 to 10 years, then you would include a name like Bron Breakker. I think you would include a name like Jacob Fatu. I think you would include a name like Oba Femi. Logan Paul. You know, Logan Paul could be that guy. I'm not prepared to call him a pillar. I'm not prepared to say that. He's part-time. I can't call him a pillar when he's not on the show every week. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Pillars are like the foundations. Logan Paul comes in and out. That's not a pillar. That's a special attraction. He's not a full-time performer. You know, Roman Reigns. At one time, Roman Reigns, you could say, was a pillar. Roman Reigns is not a pillar. Roman Reigns wrestles fucking 5 times a year. That's not a pillar. As far as who main events WrestleMania first among Bron, Fatu, Dom, and Logan? That's a good question. I want to say it's either Bron or Fatu. I think it's one of those two. And if I had to guess, I'm going to say Bron Breakker. We got Aaron with the $50 super chat. Been a while since I've been able to pop in live. As always, thanks for the great work, Solo. Just want to say the amount of time Seth has cut a future of the industry promo has to be counted by now. Give it a rest. Yeah, it's pretty lame, honestly. It's like the revolutionary, visionary stuff. I guess I get that's part of his whole character shtick. But when you say it in every promo and it's not cool to begin with, and I get he's a heel, but he was doing it when he was a babyface too. It's not cool. It gets very tiresome. I agree. You're not wrong. But Aaron, look at that. Coming in hot. We got Dry Chicken Without Flavor. AEW Sickos versus WWE Sickos in Squid Games. Oh, I'd watch that. I would watch the shit out of that. Can I be the front man? I'll happily be the front man. KSE Zombie 13. Thoughts on Lego Batman movie? Best movie, LOL. I like Lego Batman. Lego Batman was a great movie. No, it is not the best Batman movie, but I enjoyed Lego Batman. AJ Daniels, I was at the show tonight, had a lot of fun. That's awesome. It's always fun to be at the shows. Especially, I don't know how many of these you've been to, but especially if you've either not been to one before or you don't go to that many. Generally speaking, it tends to be more fun. Base Beer says Solo finish him. Was that a joke that I just didn't get? Did I take that literally before? The Mortal Kombat one? How did I not notice that? Finish, it's a finish him. Son of a bitch. Thank you, Base Beerus. I did not get that, actually, the first time I read that. I read it straight, like I read it seriously. Finish him. We got near Invasion on 10-7. They didn't think this through. Well, they don't think things through a lot of times. Yes, but there is an Invasion special. And, so I should mention this. NXT and TNA, they're doing the Invasion special next Tuesday. And then Dynamite is that night, Title Tuesday. So we got a head-to-head. So I'll be streaming that night. I think in the past I've covered both shows and done like a dual review, so I might be doing that again. Is that next week? It is next week. Wow. Okay. So that'll be next week. So I'll be streaming on Tuesday, and then my guess is we'll probably just end up doing TNT on Wednesday, but I'll talk to him about that. But yeah, they have the big head-to-head next week on Tuesday, so just be aware of that. Near, thank you. I hope you're doing well, my friend. We have, let me reload this here, get the new ones in. We got Athletic Geek 89. There he is. Athletic Geek 89, buy or sell HBK from 94 to 97. Or HBK 2002 to 2010. Personally, I think his second run was better, but Prime HBK was damn good. What say you? I feel like I've talked about this before, and I've said that it's close because he really did. I mean, they're two different runs, but they're both great. I gotta go with Prime HBK. And 97, honestly, I mean, and 97 is probably in his personal life, and the stuff he was doing is when he was at his worst. But in ring, he was never better. Like, Shawn Michaels in ring in 97 was untouchable. I lean towards that early run. But you can't go wrong with either one. I mean, he had classic matches in both runs, especially in the second one, you got plenty to choose from. No, Dynamite next week is on Tuesday. Collision is on Wednesday. They're going back-to-back nights at Daly's Place in Jacksonville. So Wednesday, they may have a show Wednesday, but it's not Dynamite, it's Collision. And I'm not going to bother with that. Arabian Night 2000. I see Bayley leaving WWE for AEW in 2026 when her deal is up. Crowds are just apathetic towards her now. Like Britt Baker, a change of scenery is needed. You know, I actually have to agree. I do think a change of scenery would probably do her well. I'm sure her and Mercedes would love to work together, but just think of all the new people she would have to work with over there. You know, sometimes a change of scenery really does do a person well. I could see her benefiting from that. Zero Point, Iyo versus Kairi versus Asuka is my favorite storyline heading into Crown Jewel. Have you seen Asuka's in-character videos on her YouTube channel? No, I've seen her out-of-character ones, like her vlogs. I have not seen the in-character stuff. Yeah, it's called Collision Homecoming next Wednesday. We have Dynamite Homecoming, and then Collision Homecoming is the next night. But it's Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm not even sure if that Collision is airing live on Wednesday, because I imagine they're moving Dynamite for a reason. So maybe it's not airing live that night. Maybe they're just taping it on Wednesday and airing it on Saturday. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is for Collision. Mactub, how do you think Triple H will make Drew getting the big role of Cavill's brother on screen about himself? I don't know. Can Triple H get himself a cameo in the Highlander movie? Maybe that's how. Maybe he'll make sure he gets a role for himself on screen. He could play a character in the movie. Arabian Night says WWE future pillars are Bron, Fatu, Dom, and Oba. And MJF. Well, yeah, I mean, MJF he'll be there eventually. MJF will be there eventually. Of that, I am certain. You know, some people forget how young he still is. All right, well, we smashed the regular goal. We are currently at 460 likes. We're 8 out of 10 on the secondary goal. So I don't know if we're going to hit the double round of Be the Booker, but you get one. You're getting at least the one. Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's time.
It is now time to Be the Booker.
It is that time of night. We got some matches to book. Always exciting. Be the Booker. Take it for a spin. Let's take it for a spin and see where we end up here. And we are going to begin. We just landed on them, a different image. We landed on them the other night. And I'm happy to say that once again, we have landed on one of my top 2 favorite tag teams of all time, the Hart Foundation. Bret the Hitman Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. You know that when you land on the Hart Foundation and Be the Booker, it's going to be a good night. It's going to be a good night. Why did I have to say that? Why? Why couldn't I just not say anything? Why did I have to make that last statement? Why did my fingers, oh man, my finger slipped. Oh man. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, gee. Well, I guess the Hart Foundation needs new opponents here. We got the Hart Foundation against the Dream Team of Greg Valentine and Brutus Beefcake. I'll take it. I'll take it. Hart Foundation and the Dream Team is a good tag team match. I hate when my finger slips like that, man. Boy, I hate when that happens. But, I mean, there's nothing I could do, you know? Oops. Right? See, Big G. I didn't see anything. Nobody saw that. We have the Queen, Charlotte Flair, here in Women's Be the Booker. One half of the Women's Tag Team Champions. Charlotte Flair against Sol Ruca. Coming to a SmackDown screen near you There'll be a lot of people screaming for this match. But this will be on SmackDown soon. You watch. I think Sol Ruka, when she gets called up, goes to SmackDown, and that'll be a match. Shit, I mean, that could be a WrestleMania match within the next 5 years. Charlotte Flair and Sol Ruka. I didn't say WrestleMania main event. I just said a WrestleMania match. Sol Ruka is someone who I know they have high hopes for. So if you ever wanted to really elevate her in the eyes of people, you get a WrestleMania match with Charlotte Flair. That would be one way to do it. Yeah, the SmackDown Scream. Everybody will be doing the SmackDown Scream. All right, it's our main event. We have Adam Cole. What in the world happened to Adam Cole? So sad. Adam Cole against the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. A fine wrestling match. And a clean sweep here tonight and Be the Booker. You didn't see what happened there in the tag team one. You didn't see nothing. You can't prove it. There you go. That's right. That's right. Mactab, better body of work within WWE. Punk or Bryan? They're pretty equal. They're pretty equal. On a personal level. In terms of body of work, personally, I would go Bryan. I just enjoyed his matches more. But it's close. Terrible Dry Chicken. I have a new nickname for Paul Levesque. Mr. Fundamentals. When he's booking. I have a nickname for Paul Levesque. Mr. Play It Safe. Mr. Don't Take Chances. Mr. Moments. MGM Ballin says, one more, guys. Come on. And then as soon as MGM Ballin sends that, we got Boots dropping a 10, and we got Duff's Vids dropping a 9.99. And would you believe it? We just hit 10 out of 10 on the bonus goal. You enjoyed Be the Booker so much, they demanded a second round. Duff's Vid says, did you know diarrhea is hereditary? It runs in your genes. I enjoyed that joke when Ellie told Joel that joke on The Last of Us. It's a good one, but I've heard it before. In fact, I think that's where you got it from. Was it Duff's Vids or was it Sidro? I actually like the one where if they had a medication to treat diarrhea, it should have been branded as gonorrhea. It just makes so much sense. Nobody would want to touch it though, but it just makes so much sense. Like if you had diarrhea and you wanted it gone, you would buy gonorrhea. I was like, of course. Naturally. All right. Well, let me turn those sounds off because we are going back to Be the Booker because we got one more, baby. We got one more round left to go. And you know that in the bonus rounds, we have to introduce the stipulations. Was it Duff's? It might have been Duff's Vids. All right, pick a stip. We got the barbed wire steel cage match. Oh, the sickos are going to love this. Elijah says, Raw is so dead right now. That's why we have more fun on the streams. I'm having way more fun on here than I did watching Raw. All right, barbed wire steel cage tag team match is what we're going to start out with here. So I guess the objective here is, I mean, I don't know. How does this work? If you got barbed wire all around the cage and on top of the cage, how are you going to climb out of the cage? There's barbed wire on top. Some people are getting shredded here in this match. Paul London and Brian Kendrick. Spanky are one half of the barbed wire tag team match. And their opponents are going to be, oh man, poor Ricky and Robert. The Rock and Roll Express against Paul London and Brian Kendrick. You don't really need a barbed wire cage for this, man. You just put those two teams in the ring together. What a match. And instead, you got to gimmick it up, and they're going to get torn to shreds. Yeah, tap out or knockout. I don't think anybody's climbing over that cage. Pin or submission rules. Be a great match, though. All right, the women. Oh, boy. The women's match. I think this is the first time ever that we have booked a female Punjabi prison match. This sounds horrendous. Women's Punjabi prison. We have Kairi Sane, as if this poor woman hasn't been tortured enough recently. She's basically being held hostage. Now she's in a Punjabi prison match. Imagine her doing an insane elbow off the top of the Punjabi prison. Kairi Sane. Oh my God. Kairi Sane against Wendy Richter in a Punjabi prison match. I mean, I'm sure there's some combination of women that can make that match work, but it ain't these two. Yeah, poor Kairi. It ain't these two. I'm sorry. There will be no double sweep. And our main event is going to be, we're going old school. It's a dog collar match. All right. Here we go. We have, oh, look, it's Ricochet draped in toilet paper. It's the TP King, Ricochet, in a dog collar match. Against who? Ricochet against Hulk Hogan in a dog collar match. I know who Hulk Hogan won't be putting over in this match, brother. Who's my opponent, brother? It's this guy over here. Let me get a look at him. I don't think so, brother. That don't work for me. Was Hogan ever? I don't think Hogan was never in a dog collar match, was he? Yeah, I don't think Hogan is going to be doing business in this match. I don't know. Something tells me. Hair against hair? What hair? That's the most odd opponents for a dog collar match, but it would be crazy fun. Ricochet, that's why I gave her the bell. Ricochet and Hogan in a dog collar match. I'm intrigued. Predictable finish, but I'm intrigued. Athletic Geek 89. Heart Foundation versus Techno Team would still be good. Yeah, but I would never book it on my show. I don't want to see it. You could book it on your show. This is not your show. This is my show. I'm not going to sell any tickets with that match. And Mactub, why do you think so many of Triple H's big WrestleMania moments flopped badly? Also, Chuck McGill could be an elite GM. He wears the foil, the tinfoil blanket, when he goes out to the ring. I mean, many of Triple H's big WrestleMania, some of his big WrestleMania matches were overshadowed by better matches, by more legendary matches that took place that night. 18 and 25 in particular stand out. 35, he was washed at that point. Him and Batista, I'm happy for Batista that he got that match because I know that was very important to him. Those last few years of Triple H in the ring, he was fucking terrible. He was so fucking boring. He had a match with The Undertaker. My God, what show was that? He had like a 30-minute match with The Undertaker at like a Super Showdown. It might have been in Australia or something. My God. Oh my God. How fucking terrible that was. And so those were the last few years of his career. He mentions 18, 25, 29. Yeah, 29 was the match with Brock. He beat Brock, didn't he? Yeah, that never should have happened. 32. Oh, God, don't get me started on that. 33 against Seth. Yeah, that was pretty boring. That's why I always said Triple H was the guy who worked with the guy. He just was not a dynamic performer. He was not one of those people that you go out of your way to want to pay money to go see relative to the names that you actually wanted to pay money to go see. The more charismatic, fun, entertaining performers that were out there that he was very fortunate enough to share the ring with and share that same era with. He just... Sorry, but tell me when I'm telling lies. Terrible Dried Chicken says Hulk Hogan against Ricochet, Kevin Nash as the special guest referee. You got me, brother. You put Ricochet in a ring with Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash. Why would you do that to this guy? He's going to look like a child. He's going to look like a little kid in there if you put him in the ring with these people. It'll be like when Hogan wrestled Billy Kidman in WCW. Was it Saudi Arabia? I don't think it was Saudi Arabian. The match with Undertaker, the singles match they had? I'm not talking about the tag team match in 2018. They had a match... And it might have been 2018, but it was a one-on-one match. And I thought it was Australia, but wherever it was one of those international shows. And it fucking sucked. Did I see Strowman is in talks to play Jason Voorhees? I don't know. Yeah, I did see that. I don't know if those talks are formal. I mean, the way he talked about it, it's like informal contact has been made. I didn't get the sense that there's like an actual official discussion going on, but I'll talk more about that on the Sound Off this weekend. I mean, it's been quite some time since we've had a Friday the 13th movie. Joseph Stewart, buy or sell Robert De Niro or Jack Nicholson? De Niro. Jack's great. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, right? The Joker and Batman. But De Niro, you got Goodfellas, you got Casino, you got Heat. I can't vote against that. Those are some of my favorite movies. Super Showdown. Okay, yeah, Super Show. Okay, but where was it though? Was it Australia? Super Showdown 2018. Okay, it was in right. Yes, it was in Melbourne, and it led to that awful tag match in Saudi. Yeah, I mean Triple H at that point, he really shouldn't have been in the ring anymore. He was washed. I'm sorry. People talk about the Undertaker towards the end, and he was washed, and this guy's washed. Triple H was washed. Joseph Stewart, have you seen the John Wayne movie McClintock? I did not. My father saw all of the John Wayne movies. McClintock, I didn't see. Wasn't really a John Wayne guy. Wasn't really a Western guy. Didn't he injure himself in the match? He injured himself in the Saudi tag match. I don't think he injured himself in the other one. The matches early in Triple H's career were awesome, though. Well, you say early. How early are you talking about here? They got better in the late 90s and early 2000s. No one was clamoring to see Hunter Hearst Helmsley wrestling in 1996. But yes, I mean, in 97, he had some great ones with Foley when he first introduced Cactus Jack, but even as Mankind, their King of the Ring final, SummerSlam cage match in 97. That's really when he started to come into his own as a singles performer in that company. But the early days of Triple H as a heel, when he shed the Blue Blood stuff. So like late 99, but really early 2000. Really up until he hurt his leg for the first time. To me, that was, I have always said this, that was peak Triple H. In ring anyway, that was peak Triple H. 2000 through 2001 up until the torn quad. The very night that he tore his quad, because that tag match was awesome. That was peak Triple H. And he had great matches after. I know Bret Hart would disagree, but I mean, he had great matches after that. But to me, when he came back in 2002, he was never the same. He was never the same performer after that. He just wasn't. Still very good, but something was different. Obviously, he was physically a lot bigger, but something was definitely different. Joseph Stewart, buy or sell Gunsmoke or Bonanza? Neither. Didn't watch either one. Terrible Dry Chicken. Imagine Minoru Suzuki getting the Def Rebel treatment. We go from Kazani Nare to what exactly? How would his song open? Do I even want to know? There he is, Joseph Stewart. Have you seen the Western movie They Called Me Trinity? Nope. Can't say that I have. Saw Blazing Saddles, though. There's a Spaceballs sequel coming out soon. Believe it or not. They say certain injuries make you change your in-ring style. Yeah, just look at Steve Austin. That's very true. Sometimes you can't come back and do the same things, or maybe you can, but you're a little gun shy because you want to avoid re-injuring yourself. You want to prolong your career, especially when it comes to like knee injuries, lower body injuries, knee, ankle. It's understandable. And Triple H tore his other quad a few years later. But a lot of that has to do with the muscle mass that he put on through whatever means he put it on. We'll leave it at that. But that clearly played a role in him tearing muscles. Clearly. Just use your own eyes. Joseph says, were you a fan of Walker, Texas Ranger? I wasn't, but you know what I was a fan of? I was a fan of the Walker Texas Ranger lever that Conan O'Brien would randomly pull on his show. And then they would show, like, out of nowhere, he'll pull this giant lever. And then they would show a funny moment from Walker Texas Ranger with no context whatsoever. I was a fan of that more so than the actual show. Brandon Vasquez, buy or sell, the worst collapse, 07 Mets or 25 Mets? 25 Mets. This is my least favorite Mets team of all time. But we don't talk about 07 either. Yes, the Conan Walker lever. Classic. Thank you guys. This has been fun. We took a Monday Night Raw that was, it was all right. It was okay. And we turned it into a fun stream. I will be back with you live on Wednesday night for the Dynamite post show. We have the 6-year anniversary of AEW Dynamite that they are celebrating this week. So I will be live for the post show after that episode. And then Friday night after SmackDown. Of course, tomorrow night over on JD's channel for Tuesday Night Titans. Slow news week, but we always make it interesting. And that's where you can find me. And of course, if you missed it, episode 931 of the Sound Off this weekend. I covered a lot of stuff. Joseph Stewart, buy or sell, Marlon Brando or John Wayne? I'll go Marlon Brando. Thoughts on the Jets remaining 0-4. Haha. You want to know my thoughts on that? I don't think I'm going to... Do I have it here? Oh, I don't. That's too bad. I thought I had a laugh track. I was going to play that. That's my thoughts on the 0-4 Jets. It's the Jets, dude. Like, it's the Jets. What do you expect? It's the fucking Jets. Exactly. Jets 0-4. What is new? Exactly. Titans are 0-4, Saints are 0-4, and the Raiders are 0-4. Yeah, you want to know my thoughts on the Jets? There you go. That's my thoughts on the Jets. You want to know my thoughts on the Mets playoff chances here in 2025? That's where it went yesterday. Right down the commode. All right. I will see you guys on Wednesday for the Dynamite post show. Until then, be well, stay safe. Have yourselves a great night. Thank you for the support. Hit that like button on your way out if you have not already done so. And we'll come back in 2 days and do it all over again. Right here on YouTube. I'll see you then. Take care, guys. Actually, wait. Joseph's not done. Do you have a favorite Western movie? Does Sinners count? I was just thinking about that. You know what? If you count that, and maybe you don't, I don't know. I'll say Sinners from earlier this year. Sinners was great. There you go. How's that for an answer? I'll see you guys Wednesday night.